Alright, so one more scenario. Now you have named this test names as per the module so that you have a control to which module to run. But what if you want to run tests based upon smoke or regression? Let's say that you want to identify few test cases as a smoke and you want to run only those smoke test cases. At that time you just can't put smoke keyword in the test case name, right? That will not sound good. How do you run only test cases which are identified as smoke? Okay, for that in pytest there is a concept called mark, where you can actually mark that test case with one set of name, and you can tell your command line terminal to run only that mark related test cases. It's like tagging in Cucumber. If you have familiar with Cucumber framework, we call as tags. If you are familiar with testng, we call them as groups. Okay, let me show how that works. Now I recognized this as my smoke test. Okay, pytest dot, when you put like this you get an error because you need to import one package. Move your cursor on this and say import pytest, and that will get imported. Okay, now pytest dot mark dot, and you can give any name. So let's say I will give this a smoke. So now this particular test case have marked as smoke. Okay, similarly I will go to another file. In this file I am marking this as smoke. Import pytest. Nice. So we have successfully marked both these tests with smoke. Now if I want to run only those test cases which are marked as smoke, it's very simple again. You have to use keyword called M, which is stands for mark. Okay, and what is your mark here? Smoke, right? That's it. Run, and it have successfully ran 2, out of which one is failed. You know why that is failed, and one is passed, which is hello, and 2 are deselected. Okay, right, and you have some warning here. What is this? So they were saying that you have to register these marks in your project. Now smoke is the mark you defined, right? So pytest guys are asking that to register in some configuration options. I will talk about this later. Right now you just ignore this warning, because if I start talking about that now you will get confused. Let's go in an organized way. So you will reach one point where you need to understand about this configuration options. At that time I will tell you how you can get rid of this warning, but for now let it go, because that's not stopping our execution. Alright, so in this way you can have any tags like marks in Python terminology, and then you can actually run them. Perfect. So let me add that. You can mark, I'll put brackets as tag, test, and then run with hyphen option. You can mark test with what? This tag, right? Perfect. So you have learned another new concept which will help you to select test. But I would personally prefer this. As far as I know, in most of the projects, if they want to run specific module, please always go with K and make sure you give meaningful name to your test. Okay, so this will be useful only when you want to mark something like smoke or regression. But for remaining things, if you want to run specific modules, please always use K and give a meaningful name to your test. This is more optimized than tags. Okay, now I will now show how to skip a test. Now totally there are 4 test cases, right? Let's run all of them, but I want to skip one. Maybe there could be multiple reasons. You found there is a bug in application which is not yet fixed, and you want to skip that test just to not give wrong report because you are already aware of the test case failure. So how do you do that? So now we understood that this is a bug. Right now in our test, this is failing, right, all the time. So let's actually skip this test. How? Again, there are so many marks defined. These are like custom marks. Now if you go to console, you see that the one what we defined is a custom mark. When you have custom mark, you need to register is what they were saying, but that's not mandatory. You can skip it. I did not do in my last project. It still works. Just a warning. But there are some predefined marks in pytest. Mark dot skip. So when you mark this test case as skip, and now when you run complete suite, this particular test will be skipped. Let's see. I will now run all test cases no matter what. I'm using this to have output, that's all. So py.test will simply trigger all the tests, right? And now it should run all the 4 minus 1 because we are skipping. Perfect. You see that this got skipped. Demo2.py. In that we have given test underscore first program. Demo2.py test underscore first program. It got skipped and remaining 3 are passed, right? So 3 passed, 1 skipped, and 1 warning because we have used smoke. Ignore that for now. So this is how you can skip test cases in pytest. It's simple, right? It's very, very easy. You need to understand and practice, that's all. For the first time, you might need to note down the notes, but once you start practicing, it's very easy. You can skip tests with, right. Now, if there is a requirement like where you don't want to skip the test because this test case is doing some operations here which are like prerequisites for further test cases, but after performing all the operations somewhere this is failing, so which is not correct and you want to avoid that. But if you use skip, the complete test case is skipping and the operations what you need for your further test cases is also not happening. At that time, if your requirement is only to not show this failing test case in your report, okay, because you know that is a bug and that should not create false alarm in your test report, that's why you are skipping. But if you come across a problem where by skipping that particular test, if you think some prerequisite operations for further test cases is impacting, then you can still run this test, but you can skip reporting that in your report file. Okay. Let me show you that. So I will comment out this skip for now. Or I can use another file. Let me go to another file. So good morning. So basically I want to exfile this, right? So when you give this particular test will run, but in output you won't see about pass or fail. So this is like just running but not reporting. So you want to use this in cases where you think this is required for further test cases to run, but that should not come in reporting. That's it. In that cases, you can use this. In real time, it will come into handy. Okay, if you are at least 4 or 5 years automation experienced, the scenario what I told, you may came across. In that cases, you can use this annotation. And this is unique annotation which is not present in any other framework like Java, TestNG or JUnit. Something unique. Okay, so what passed compared to previous test results? Out of 3, now 2 only passed and another one is this one. Okay, it ran, but you won't see that anything here. You see X pass, it's in blue. Sorry, I don't know what color it is, yellow. But it's not reporting pass or fail. Everything is reported. See, pass, skip, pass. It have ran. Good morning also printed in the output. As I said, if there is any prerequisite, it will run. But no status, pass or fail. So you can use this if you want. So let me also document that, and with this, these are the basic annotations we will come across. Okay, in the next lecture, let's talk about one more new topic, and then we will also go through what all we learned till now and what all pending as well. All right, thank you.